Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for those egocentric attention holders, Harry and Meghan. Oh no! Do you see what this article says? Meghan Markle is losing America's sympathy. Oh, the dread. Oh, how terrible. You mean people are actually starting to get tired of listening to them over and over and over again? Wow. Well, you know what? Everybody has their limits. And basically, their stupid show, Harry and Meghan, has proven that. And I don't really think that a lot of people are going to be all that interested in Prince Harry's upcoming book called Spare. I'm not interested in it, but I'm sure I will have to do a video or two about it. So let's see what this article is saying. Oh, how terrible. America is losing sympathy because they're just so sad in their palatial mansion. Oh, yes, it's so heartbreaking. So let's see what is going on with poor, sad Meghan Markle. She is once again at the center of a media storm with a public attack that her supporters say is wildly disproportionate and evidence of racialized bias. Oh no! However, this familiar story is now taking place on U.S. soil. In other words, it's not happening in Britain, where everybody already is tired of them. The Duchess of Sussex was lumped in by Politico with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Kanye West, Elizabeth Holmes, and Sam Bankman-Fried on a list of narcissists who the public have lost interest in. Boston-based contributor Joanna Weiss wrote the article, which sparked a widespread backlash and was condemned as demented and casual misogynoir by commentators on social media. Oh, how dreadful that somebody dared to say something that they thought was true. It's just an opinion. People are entitled to have their opinions, whether or not you want to hear them. I mean, that's part of life. Everybody has their own opinion. And let's take a look at that article over in Politico. Here it is. Yes, this is the Politico article that has sparked a little more outcry again. And this article has a few things to say, and it's actually rather interesting. It's been a good run for the narcissists. Over the past decade or so, a mix of shameless self-aggrandizement and self-confident charm has served certain people extraordinarily well, turning them into venture capital darlings, licensed merchandise magnates, Forbes cover models, social media superstars, Oprah confessors, business conference keynoters, new money plutocrats, and in one case, president. Elon Musk, Sam Bankman-Fried, Kanye West, Elizabeth Holmes, Meghan Markle, Donald Trump. All of them used attention as currency and ego as fuel and were rewarded for a time with what they crave. We're drawn to people who love themselves, which is sad to say, but I think there is some truth to that. But somewhere between the 5th and 6th hour of Harry and Meghan, the new Netflix so-called documentary series produced by the former Duke and Duchess of Sussex and filmed at their palatial California mansion, which suggests that there is no one more in love, no one more socially conscious, no one more aggrieved. My natural sympathy for the couple started turning to irritation, and it occurred to me that ego has its limits. And it struck me that the overreach that led to the Sussexes' critically panned mega series is the same impulse that turned Elon Musk into a terror on Twitter. Narcissism can be a clinical diagnosis, Hardin told me. The social scientists define it as a personality trait. It shows up on the spectrum. All of us have some degree of self-love, which probably explains our behavior on Facebook and Instagram. But the people Hardin calls grandiose narcissists, or at one point in our conversation, charismatic attention hogs, stand apart. They believe they're the absolute best at what they do. They go to great lengths to protect and defend their egos. They strive to be unique and promote themselves energetically. That's the story in a nutshell of Harry and Meghan, who at first seemed uncommonly savvy for the way they've managed their public lives, breaking free of British royal misery, then cashing in spectacularly on the drama. And that's exactly what it is, cashing in. In 2020, they inked a reported $100 million development deal with Netflix. Yes, that lovely Harry and Meghan show that is being panned by everybody. In 2021 came their blockbuster Oprah interview, and a reported $20 million advance for Harry's tell-all memoir Spare. Oh, they just want that money, money, money. Gotta pay for that palatial mansion somehow. Their current Netflix series premiered in high ratings and an explosion of media think pieces. It made you look. Part of it is chilling. An up-close look at the British tabloid press, complete with heart-wrenching footage of Harry's mother, Diana, hounded by paparazzi. But the legitimate complaints are wedged between glamour shots from footage of Meghan getting fitted for ball gowns to a vast collection of flattering photos and videos they took during their royal exit, apparently preparing for a photogenic tell-all. Yeah, they well prepared for this in advance. This was their game plan all along in order to keep this sympathetic pity party going to make money on it. Even sympathetic critics have grasped that there's little new here beyond the vanity. In The Guardian, Marina Hyde compared the couple to a, quote, a pair of ancient mariners with a TV contract, condemned to tell their tale to everyone they meet. Now we'll go back to the original article that I started from. However, Politico is not the first U.S. publication to criticize the couple's Netflix documentary, Harry and Meghan. In the Sussex camp, there may also be genuine reason to seriously consider the reasons why their latest media outing got a different reception to their March 2021 Oprah Winfrey interview. Politico's article launched a particularly strong attack on the Duchess, but it was not the only U.S. publication to make criticisms. Another significant intervention came from Variety a few days after part 2 of Harry and Meghan was released on December 15th, containing its allegations of Prince William shouting at Harry during a royal exit negotiations. Oh, poor Harry, he got yelled at, oh no, so horrifying, oh no. The article's author, Andrew Wallenstein, president and chief media analyst at Variety Intelligence Platform, wrote, "It's not that Harry and Meghan don't have a story worth telling. The prejudice they faced from the royal family and the British press was awful, but telling the story ad nauseum has diminishing returns. At some point, even the dimmest of minds among their fans is going to tire of their oh, woe is us routine as they play the victim card again and again." That's a tone-deaf message to be sending from their posh Montecito estate at a time of economic insecurity around the world. At some point soon, Harry and Meghan need to pivot to something beyond retelling their old plight over and over. It's not as if they're going to have new stories to tell of their days in the UK now that they've been largely cut off from the monarchy. And as I said in my last video, yeah, they've totally been cut off. They weren't even mentioned in King Charles III's Christmas message. They've done absolutely nothing to warrant it. They're not participating with the royal family at all. So there was nothing to say about them, and they don't have any reason to say anything about them. And I think that's a very accurate thing to say. Yes, they have been cut off, but they brought it on themselves. They were the ones who exited the royal family. They didn't get kicked out. They did this on their own. Meanwhile, a review in the Wall Street Journal described part 1 of the show as a royal pity party, while the Hollywood Reporter suggested what it does not turn out to be is essential. And that's exactly true. Its article stated, when a subject declares that they've never been quote-unquote allowed to tell their side before, a viewer might reasonably expect what follows to yield unanticipated details or novel insights. Yet, despite extensive interviews with the couple both together and separately, despite never-before-seen footage of their private lives, Harry and Meghan offers too little that feels fresh enough to merit its luxurious 6-episode sprawl for all but the most fervent royal watchers. No, I wouldn't even call it royal watchers at this point. It is very simply the Harry and Meghan fandom, because they're not part of the royal family anymore. The royal family has lots of support, and that support pretty much excludes Harry and Meghan at this point. They're in their own little camp now. They separated themselves, and everything that's going on in their lives at this point now is of their own making. It has nothing to do with the royal family at this point. And that's something that people really need to get. It all adds up to a very different response when compared to the American reaction to the Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021, which revealed for the first time that Meghan had experienced suicidal thoughts while a working royal. At the time, Bethany Frankel star of The Real Housewives of New York City, was bounced into an apology, having been dismissive in a tweet posted the day before the broadcast. She initially wrote, "Cry me a river, the plight of being a game show host, fairly unknown actress, to suffering in a palace with tiaras and seven-figure weddings for 2 whole years, to being a household name with Oprah on speed dial, fetching $7 million for interviews, hundreds of millions in media deals." Yeah, why should anyone feel sorry for these people? Everything that these two have done has been orchestrated to gain sympathy and to make money from the sympathizers. This is what it really all boils down to. The star criticized Meghan numerous times in multiple viral TikToks, most recently saying the Netflix show was, quote, like a smash and grab job for money, unquote, in a post liked more than 126,000 times. Because this is how everybody sees it now. Everybody knows that's what this is. Everyone knows that all Harry and Meghan are trying to do is to make money off of their sympathy. And people are becoming very unsympathetic to them because they are living these very palatial lives. And it's, oh, just feel sorry for them. Oh, it's so terrible that they have to live so miserably in their palatial mansion. Oh, yes. Criticism of Harry and Meghan from the American right dates back longer than Oprah to the summer of 2020 and the couple's comments on the U.S. presidential election. However, since the Oprah interview, a different story has slowly emerged of a growing willingness to mock or criticize them within a wider cross-section of American society. You mean even the left is starting to hate Harry and Meghan? Yeah, I think that's what's happening now. The Cut also poked fun at Meghan during an August 2022 cover interview, observing that she sometimes converses like she has a tiny bachelor producer in her brain directing what she says. Yes, because everything she says is being carefully controlled. She's trying to carefully orchestrate how she wants everyone to see what she and Harry are doing. This is what this all boils down to. It added, at one point in our conversation, instead of answering a question, she will suggest how I might transcribe the noises she's making. She's making these guttural sounds, and I can't quite articulate what it is she's feeling in that moment because she has no word for it. She's just moaning. Really? Is this what we're getting down to? That we now have to transcribe her moans of anguish, of her alleged anguish to, oh, please feel sorry for us. Oh, it's so terrible being Harry and Meghan. Oh, it's so awful. The British media has been accused of extreme takes on the couple since the very start of their relationship, but British public opinion has been more complicated. Meghan remained popular with the British public during that time, with a YouGov poll that October suggesting 55% of UK adults liked her. That all changed after Harry and Meghan quit the royal family in January 2020, and Meghan is now disliked by 2/3 of Britain. Yes, in other words, she brought it on themselves. People don't like her because they've made themselves unlikable. This is what is going on with Harry and Meghan. People are tired of them, and they still haven't figured that out yet. Meghan Markle is currently less popular in America than Prince William, Kate Middleton, and Prince Harry, according to polling for Newsweek. In fact, a smaller percentage of Americans, 43%, like Meghan now than British people in October 2019, 55%, the year of media hostility. The Sussexes still enjoy far more support in the US than in Britain, but if American public opinion were to go the way of the UK polls, the crisis for Harry and Meghan would be greater than the prospect of being unpopular. A key part of their narrative is that they had to leave Britain for the safety of America, due to the UK's notoriously hostile and unfair media. Yet that narrative of British tabloid exceptionalism is conditional on the American media treating them better. Before that interview, reportedly 3 hours and 20 minutes long before the edit, and the 6 one-hour episodes on Netflix, they have had more than 9 hours in which to tell their story. And Harry's memoir, Spare, is just around the corner, set for release in January 2023. But based on polling now on both sides of the Atlantic, vigorous public defense on the couple has not seemingly eradicated public criticism, and the cotton wool in which they were protectively wrapped in the days after Oprah appears to have dissolved. In other words, even their most fervent supporters are abandoning them at this point. There are probably still a few out there, but people have lost so much interest and sympathy for these two, and these two are destroying the little bit of sympathy that they have left because they won't stop talking about, oh, how dreadful their lives are. The temptation may be to see Politico's article as vindication of the long-held belief that the couple's problems arise from an unfair and unbalanced media, not from their own strategy and messaging. That is what these opinion pieces are saying, and it's true. And it even shows up because of all of the negative feedback that their show is getting on Rotten Tomatoes. But the bottom line, yeah, I think this article is 100% correct. I think people are getting tired of it in the US. People in Britain are long since tired of Harry and Meghan, but now people in the US are getting tired of them. So where will they go next? Australia, New Zealand? If all they do is just keep telling the same crap over and over again, they're going to wear out their welcome anywhere they go. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.